This week, Steven Universe returned with a brand new episode entitled When It Rains. Picking up exactly where last week's show left off, Peridot is still holed up in the temple's bathroom, and the gems still have no idea on how to get her out, or why she keeps going on about the impending doom of the cluster. However, she has warmed up to Steven pretty good, and we get a very telling scene with the two together. It seems despite being sent to Earth and being stuck on Earth for as long as she has, Peridot doesn't know the first thing about the planet she's on or its customs. Heck, she doesn't even know what rain is. It's interesting to have a character who's so book smart on one hand but so completely and utterly oblivious on the other. Eventually, Peridot does decide to come clean to Steven about the cluster threat, but to do so, they're going to need to take a little field trip to the ultra creepy kindergarten. Hey, fun fact everyone, kinder in German means child, and garden, well, that goes without saying. I find it interesting in this episode too when Steven mentions that he's only half gem, Peridot doesn't freak out the way I thought she would. Could we take this to mean that gem hybrids are more common among the homeworld gems? I mean, they've colonized how many planets out there in the universe, so I mean, can this really be so weird? Has something like Steven happened before? We also get some more insight into the homeworld gems and their views of family, mainly that they don't have any views of families. Gems just kinda pop out from the earth fully formed, so why would they ever have anything like parents? Man, you know, the more we learn about gems, the more badass and OP they really are. I mean, think about it. They don't age, they don't get sick, they can shapeshift their appearance, they can fuse together to become even stronger, and they are essentially immortal as long as their gem isn't broken. The only real downside to gem culture that we can see so far is that they basically have to completely strip mine a planet of resources for new gems to be born. Earth was of course saved this kind of fate because of the intervention of rose quartz and the crystal gems. And you know, while we're on the subject of rose quartz, Peridot makes another interesting comment in this episode when she says, "Hey Steven, you're a quartz, aren't you?" Could we possibly take that to mean that there are more versions of gems out there than just the ones we know? Like there are multiple different quartzes and rose was just one, maybe even multiple different pearls and garnets for that matter. Perhaps the gems' names aren't even really their names, they're just the subset of gem that they're from. It's in this episode we discover that the cluster is actually a gem superweapon, a gigantic mutant comprised of thousands of shards of cracked gems. And if you thought those smaller mutants were trouble, once the cluster wakes up, it's going to crack the very earth into pieces. When It Rains was also an episode that allowed us to see how Peridot does in a fight without her robot parts, and to answer that question, she does not do very well. You know, I have to wonder if she even has a gem weapon or if she's just been relying on her mechanical enhancements for way too long now that she forgets how to use this. Speaking of weapons, and the crystal gems all seem to show off new powers this episode, kind of out of nowhere. Pearl can now shoot laser beams from her spear, Amethyst can do that crazy Sonic the Hedgehog bounce attack thing, and even Garnet seems to be able to create lightning from her fist now. I don't know when they leveled up and got these new powers, but I like them a lot. When It Rains was ultimately an episode all about trust. In just 2 short episodes, Peridot has had one heck of an arc. I kept waiting for her to try and betray Steven, but that never happened. It seems Steven's good nature just kinda rubbed off on her in a weird infectious sort of way. If Peridot does decide to join the crystal gems, then that would bring a whole new dynamic to the group. The stage is also set for one heck of a world-ending threat. I wonder if the show will continue on this track, or if we're going to get a couple more one-offs before the end. All the same, I give When It Rains a much-deserved 8.5 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll feel like checking out some more videos I have on offer here at Cape Joel.